Good morning, students. In today's video lecture, we'll understand the chapter Footprints Without Feet. As the name suggests, the chapter may explore about a person who is invisible and people are all startled after seeing his footprints. So this is a short PowerPoint presentation by Bhuvan Chandra, TGT English. So let's start. Before we start, there are some points to work on, to think on. Can a man become invisible? If your answer is no, then we are wrong here. Because we are going to study about a person, a fellow, who is a scientist and he proves to become invisible. This is the story of a scientist who discovers how to make himself invisible. But the point is, does he use it or he misuses this discovery? First, about the author, Herbert George Wells. He was born on 21st September 1866 in England. So he's a British writer, we can say. And he was died on 13 August 1946. H.G. Wells was an English writer, prolific in many genres. Prolific means he was very fruitful or very fertile in producing various genre of English literature. He wrote dozens of novels, short stories, and works of social commentary. Means he commented or he remarked on the social issues and he raised these all through his work. We call them different genres. And he wrote about history, satire, etc. Means he wrote his work on these certain topics. Wells is for best remembered for his science fiction novels and is often called the father of science fiction. What is science fiction? Let's have a just short line on it. Science fiction is basically a kind of fiction, a kind of fictitious novel in which the advanced technology or scientific discoveries are actually the key elements. So he was known as father of science fiction. In 1895, H.G. Wells became an overnight literary sensation with the publication of the novel The Time Machine. It's a famous novel. We all must have read or heard about this. The Time Machine. The name also suggests that it explores about some scientific invention. So this is also in the category of science fiction. So let's first talk on introduction part of the chapter. You can see image The Invisible Man. This is the cover of the original book The Invisible Man. So the present chapter is an extract from the original novel, and that is again a science fiction like Time Machine, The Invisible Man, and it was published in 1897. In this chapter, H.G. Wells explores the life of a scientist who undergoes a dark personal transformation after turning himself invisible. But Griffin's, so his name was Griffin, the scientist's name, Griffin's inventions go waste as he uses it not for the welfare of society, but he just uses it to create a nuisance in society and he becomes a culprit or a lawless person. Now let's go into the chapter. We'll talk about chapter highlights. The two boys in the story saw fresh footprints of an invisible man in the streets of London And these boys were very startled and they started chasing these fresh footprints. But they could not see any man over there. And these were actually footprints of a lawless scientist named Griffin. Actually, Griffin had discovered a rare drug which could make him invisible. His landlord disliked him and tried to reject him or eject him from their room. In revenge, as he was rather a lawless person, he would suffer the fits of anger. So, in revenge, Griffin set fire to the house. He swallowed drugs and removed his clothes and just to become invisible, and as a result he would be easily become invisible. In the image you can see Griffin, he even had covered his face, otherwise people will see him a man without face. So he had to do this all, the glasses, the face coverings and all, so that he could be visible. Then only he could talk or deal with people. Otherwise wherever he would go, a headless man, people start chasing him. So now he was a homeless wanderer after swallowing the drug. He was invisible. And when he happened to step in some mud and left footprints as he walked, he escaped easily enough from the boys who followed the prints. Chapter highlights: he wandered in the cold streets of London and felt the need of clothes and food. He slipped inside a big London store for warmth, so he fitted himself with warm clothes. But soon, with all sort of clothes, he was a visible man now. So he was a visible man now because he won the clothes. So this is a problem with him because he was wandering in the cold winter streets of London and he needed to wear some clothes. So the moment he wore some clothes, he was now visible enough. And in the kitchen of the restaurant, he enjoyed the meal and felt asleep on the pile of quilts. Quilts, you know very well. So these are just we take rest over on. So he woke up late in the morning, and his waking up late in the morning caused this all problem for him. So the store attendants saw him in the morning and they interrogated him and started following him and they gave him a chase. He made himself free from those people after removing his clothes. So he started removing his clothes and then he entered a theatrical company where he dressed up again and looked for some money and he looted some money from the storekeeper. So he entered inside a theatrical company. People are all the time after him. So he had to do burglary attempts or thefts for fulfilling his needs. So his own actions actually made him criminal. So he went inside a theatrical company and he dressed himself up. In the image you can see there's a general opinion about Griffin. People say that that fellow is so peculiar because his behavior was he was not very sociable. He was a kind of he would fall in fits of anger if someone would ask something about him. Fine. So he wanted to live without any disturbance. So he caught a train to Iping village and hired a room at the inn. The money of the loot will definitely not last long, and he again had to rob a clergyman of his money. So he did again the burglary attempt of looting a fellow, a clergyman, where he took a shelter. and he took a shelter in inn. So he keep wandering by this way. So after some time, Mr. and Mrs. Hall, means these are the owner of that inn where he actually stayed. When they found the door was open, there was no one but the chair, and other things in the room were moving. They become alive. So this all actually caused them surprise, and they both were very staring at all these things, that how these articles or the things inside the room become alive. How? Like the head lying on the bedpost leapt up and dashed into the face of the landlady. Then the bedroom chair pushed the innkeeper and his wife out of the room. Can you imagine it? That the bedroom chair is pushing to the owner of the inn, and that was pushing them out of the room. Okay. Now, Mrs. Hall was convinced that the room was haunted by spirits, and the stranger caused these to enter into her room. So, who are those strangers? So, these strangers are, in their view, that the stranger is that scientist. So, they both took it that way, that the room is haunted by some spirits. By the time the news of the robbery spread and everybody suspected the scientist, the suspicion grew stronger when the scientist produced some ready cash. Whereas you very well knew it that earlier he said he had no money. Then, after interrogation, he produced some money, and definitely the suspicion grew stronger over him. Everyone doubted him for the theft. So the village constable was sent for. Instead of waiting for the constable, Mrs. Hall went to the scientist and asked how he came out of the room and how he entered the locked room. So, facing all these many questions, you know, he had no patience. The scientist was kind of eccentric, kind of moody, short tempered fellow. So, he lost his temper. And when he faced certain questions from Mrs. Hall, he was out of anger. So, so he wanted to show them something. So he threw off the bandages that he would cover his face every time, and his false nose, and this made him a headless man. You can see in the image, there is a fellow running, there is no head. So he removed the clothings or the coverings over his face, he removed everything, and he had become a headless fellow. When the constable Jeffers reached there, Jeffers saw that he had to arrest a headless man. So definitely it is not easy task to arrest a headless man. But as he had a warrant to arrest him, he had to. So he tried to get hold of him, means the scientist, but Griffin outsmarted him by throwing away his clothes again, and he became almost complete invisible and knocked down the constable out of the senses. They were not aware of from where being they were being pushed and thrashed. The people who tried to help the constable received the blows of fist from nowhere. Thus he again escaped from the scene unnoticed, and he became a kind of convict, and again he rushed away from the grip of police, and he was become a nuisance for the people. So this way the episode The short extract given from the original book ends here, and he was a wanderer again. He rushed to some other place without money. Again, he had to do some burglary attempt, and this all. And it made him, even after being a great scientist, he was a convict in the eyes of people. Conclusion of the chapter. As a scientist, Griffin was successful. But as a human being, he was failed to use his inventions and achievements for humanity. He became a lawless person and he just misused his powers. So, as a scientist, he was totally failed to pay his role in using the scientific discoveries for well-being of man. So there are some assignments for us to check it out. There are certain questions we all are requested to answer it. What other extraordinary things happened at the inn? If you remember the chapter well, uh, you remember that Mrs. Hall could see no one in the room, but yet she hears a sniff of someone, right? And he just saw person, he was sitting in a chair, but she could not see him, and the chair was revolving around. Fine. Then the chair pushed the lady and Mr. Hall out of the room. Now let's take the second question. Griffin was rather a lawless person. Yes. Griffin was no doubt a brilliant scientist, but the invisibility drug that he made, it proves this point that he was a brilliant scientist. But as a human being, he is a sadist. And who is sadist? Sadist is a person who enjoys hurting others. Besides being an unscrupulous criminal, he was. Means unscrupulous means who is morally very low. And he was a lawless person, no doubt, because he lacked qualities like compassion and kindness and law abiding nature. His drug could have been a miracle, but he used it for unlawful activities. So, this proves that Griffin was a scientist, a brilliant scientist, but rather a lawless person. Third question is, you are expected to answer it. How would you assess scientist? Griffin, both as a scientist and as a philanthropist. Philanthropist is a person who have great care and love for humanity. So by this way we have come to the end of this presentation. I hope you must have enjoyed it. Thank you for watching the video. Thank you.